Doug MacLean is analyst for NHL and Sports at Hockey Central at noon, by the way, returns from their brand spanking new studio next week. We'll tell you a lot more about that as the week continues. Doug MacLean has certainly seen that studio, I'm sure. I don't know where his locker is. I couldn't find it the other day. He joins us now. How do you like the new digs?
It's terrific.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cubicle. They asked me if I wanted one, and I said I really only need a place to have like lunch or my Swiss chalet. So they just gave me a chair in the viewing area with my name over it, so it's perfect.
Don't spill any of that Swiss chalet sauce on like Strombo's leather jackets or anything.
Well, you wouldn't notice it with the black.
That's true. It blends right in. We were talking earlier about Dion Phaneuf, and it's going to be It's going to be a really interesting season on the Leafs blue line. Do you see right now, Doug, an obvious partner for him? We talked about this so much last year, and we said, stop it with Corbinian Holzer and Mike Koska and all these guys they've trucked in. It's hard to judge Dion until he gets a better partner, and there's still some debate whether he'll have a tangibly better partner. Who would you play with him?
Well, you know what? I guess getting them to the other side is a positive, so we'll see. I mean, it makes it a little easier for them, especially to get the puck going. So I think the key is you try him with a couple of people. I mean, Polak seems to be a guy that they may want to try him with. I mean, it's up and down. I mean, I still think you've got to get a feel for where Gardner and Riley are really going to be as the season progresses. If they take the steps that I think they're capable of taking, they're going to move up in the lineup. I didn't like them playing together last year. I think a chance to split them up could help all the pairings. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a bit of a trial and error for the first few games, but hopefully it's a better look than they had last year. I didn't like their defense pairings at all last year. I think it was a major problem for their team.
If Polak is indeed that guy, at least to start, Doug, what's been the early read on him? He moves a little better than I thought. He's real strong, but he does have that penchant for kind of finding his way in the penalty box, doesn't he?
Yeah, some bad penalties, but he's trying to be physical. I mean, there was a lot of talk about when they brought him in here, obviously, about being a physical presence. He reads that, so he's trying to exert himself in that area and show that I don't mind. I mean, I didn't mind the trade. I think it was a good deal for both teams. St. Louis wanted Gunnarsson. They felt they could go buy a Polak. I think it's a reasonable deal for the Leafs. I think a little abrasiveness in the back end is a positive. Foot speed, challenging. Penalties, challenging. But I like the physical presence back there. It would be nice if he fits with either Dion or one of the kids. And with his experience, physicalness, I think it has the makings of a decent pair, whoever they play him with.
Doug MacLean, our guest, NHL on Sportsnet and Hockey Central at noon. Your thoughts on the battles up front at this camp? There seems to be some competition. People are kind of talking about how Josh Levo and Brandon Kozun have put themselves in the conversation. Are those the guys that have stood out to you? Anybody else?
Well, you know what? It's really interesting. I mean, I look at the team, and they're young guys. They're parts of the organization. I'm sort of just saying, okay, fine, stick them in. Let's see where they go. I'm more concerned about the big picture. Where's their number one centerman? I mean, look, we've had this conversation for 3 years. We love Bozak. We really like Bozak, but he's a number two guy, so there's still no number one guy. Booth was brought in. Not sure where he's going to be. Obviously, the injury slowed him. Winnick, is he going to really help? Komarev is the big signing. I mean, he's a plugger, physical guy. I'm nervous about where the top six ends up, and putting in these young guys, to me, are minor situations. They still need time to develop, and I'm more concerned about the top three lines in particular and letting those kids continue to develop. But I'm nervous about where the overall summer signings are going to end up. I'm not sold on these signings.
I agree 100%. And you know what? It's you keep thinking teams. You guys talk about in your show. We do hear about teams that'll certainly shake it up. We've been waiting for Winnipeg, right? And them to shake it up. And it's like, oh, that might be it for Evander Kane there. Maybe Toronto moves Kadri. And nobody made a move this summer that really that just took anybody by surprise. The guys that got moved were the guys that asked to get moved, like Ryan Kessler. That was it.
Yeah, you know what? I never expected Kane to be moved. Look, you're playing with fire when you're moving a kid who scores 30 goals and he's a big power forward. Kadri, you know what? There's just not the right. Kadri still hasn't done enough to bring the price back that the Leafs need to move a Kadri. Mm-hmm. Let's not kid ourselves. He's got to continue to take a step, and then they reevaluate. Is he the guy? Is he the sort of personality? Is he the sort of guy that they really want here? Are he and Bozak going to be too much alike? Do they need somebody different in that 1-2 hole? I think they do.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't think you can move a Kadri. I don't blame them for not moving a Kadri because you're not getting value back, guys. That's why they're not moved. Kane, a different story. He's got a chance to be that consummate 30-goal power forward. And does he like Winnipeg? No, probably not, and that's unfortunate. But hopefully, that looks after itself as they have a little more success as a team.
I've never advocated moving Kadri. I was just worried that they would. And the same with Winnipeg.
You've advocated moving everybody in the team.
I've advocated moving some of my colleagues to like lesser markets.
Doug MacLean, our guest. Hey, you ask 5 different people, Doug, and you'll get 5 different opinions on Mike Babcock's future in Detroit. This is something that even Greg and I kind of battle over all the time. Reports say he's going to meet with Ken Holland this week. They're going to make him an offer. Does he stay? Does he go? Are we talking about Babcock as the head coach of the Red Wings next season?
If Mike Ilitch and Marion Ilitch tell Kenny to get him done, and Jimmy Devellano will be involved in it, as he's always involved in every big decision there, and they've had a lot of success because of his involvement, he'll get signed. I'm caught here. Like, if Kenny wanted to sign him, and Babber wanted to be there, wouldn't this be done, 3 months ago? Like, are you kidding me? There's something weird going on here. So I suspect, unless Mr. Ilitch says, get it done, Babcock plays it out and moves on. And what's the number one goal for Babcock? Left. He's won the Olympic gold. He's won the Stanley Cup. He's been to the finals with Anaheim. Would it not be to win a Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Wouldn't that be the consummate goal of any Canadian kid? I mean, he's not going to be in Montreal.
Or to just be the highest paid guy.
McGill, he wears McGill ties. He's not going to be in Montreal. We know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think it's Toronto or Detroit. I don't think he flirts with Pittsburgh. He either comes here, doubles his salary, and that's the thing. You know, Mr. I, and I don't know that he goes. He could say, get it done, and Ken would say, but Mr. Ilitch, he wants $5 million. Okay, to hell with him. let's promote Blaze Hill. You know?
Listen, I went to a meeting with Mr. Ilitch once on the 10th floor of the Fox Theater, and I remember the security guard saying to me, "You're going up to the 10th floor?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "If you come down, you're a different guy. If you come down."
Good stuff.
I was rattled leaving there, trust me. Anyway, no, look, there's something fishy going on here, and I'm not buying all this kumbaya stuff. So
that's why we don't have a 10th floor here. No, and that's why you're not intimidated by anybody. We like that.
I stay there. There is a 10th floor, and I stay the hell away from it at Rogers.
Doug, we look forward to another season with you.
If they want to meet me, they got to meet me in the cafeteria
or at Starbucks on the patio. Yeah.